on today's video I'll be talking about supply and demand, and these are just concepts in the market that helps you understand reversal zones and also where buyers and sellers are residing at. And literally, supply and demand are just areas in the market that shows strongly where the imbalance between buyers and sellers. Yes. So we're going to be very practical about it. The supply level is the resistance level, and this demand level is the support level. So we're going to be more practical, so look closely. I'm going to show you how to mark out your support and how to mark out your supply and demand, and also how to trade it, and also make you understand why these levels are important. So firstly, we're going to mark out the supply, which I said is the resistance level. We're going to mark out the last bullish candle. As you can clearly see, this is the last bullish candle. We're going to mark it out there. So you mark it out, pull it up. Now this is a supply. Let's indicate that. This is a supply level, and then I'm going to mark out the other. So the demand is going to be marked out from the last sell candle. The supply is marked out from the last buy candle, and the demand is going to be marked out from the last sell candle. So clearly this is the last sell candle, and that's what we're going to mark out supply. Let's play it out a little. Let's indicate that. Demand. Now, from this point, price gets here, we have a supply, it reverses back, it creates a demand, and then price moves up, it creates another supply level here. So every resistance point is supply. So that's why most people trade supply and demand, most people trade resistance and support. They're traded in different ways, but they still have a slight difference between them. So this is the point. This will be a new, and it's very important. Note that it's also very important that you mark out your supply and demand from higher time frames, because they are more accurate and price tends to respect them more. This will be another demand. Sorry, my bad. I meant to say supply. The resistance point, the last buy candle, supply. The last buy candle, another supply level here. Now the thing you need to understand is supply works for uptrends, and they both work for whatever trend. You just need to know how to use them. So I would have marked out the demand level as well, which are this last sell candles. Mark it out, but then it will make the whole chart look very crowded, and I want to keep it as simple as possible, so I'm not going to do that. Now this is the supply. We marked out several supply points, and there's one demand beneath here. Let's leave it like that. Now you can see price gets to this point, it comes back, it creates a demand, it pushes up. Now this is how to understand and trade it. Price pulls back. It's not, you see that it doesn't go, it doesn't go beneath this. Not because it can't. It can. But for a very progressing uptrend, it's not going to go beneath it. It's going to come back into it and just tap into it. So you can see it tapped into it. You should have an entry around here. From this level, you can trade now. You've got your demand marked out. You wait for price to retest back into the demand, and then you buy. That's why I told you when I started the video that the demand level is a strong buy signal when price taps back into it. But you also have to consider the overall structure of the market before doing this, and other confirmations, liquidity, the structure, and all of that. Because if you're not considering the structure and price does all of this and then it decides to go down and you just mark this blindedly, disregarding the structure, market structure is very, very important in any strategy you choose to trade. So price comes back here, you can open a buy trade around here, and then price gets here. You can target this supply level, but regardless, I'm just trying to show you what's on the chart. So price gets here, we have a new supply that it created while going back to retest the demand, and then it comes up, it creates another supply, we mark it out. Now this previous supply that we marked out, you can see price tapped into it. That's all it did. See this level, price tapped into it, and then we can have another entry at this level and then go upwards. Look at this supply again, price taps into it slightly, double taps into it. Most times price can double tap or triple tap, but once it taps more than once or more than twice, it's not supposed to tap more than once or twice. If it taps 3 times, just don't really trust those ones again, because the price is likely to not really hold at that point it's tapping. So you should not be looking for more than 1 to 2 taps. That's valid. 3 taps, 4 taps, I think you should just not really consider sitting in that trade, because something is about to happen differently. Price taps back in here and then goes upwards. So you can see all of this. That's just, you can see how easy it was to use the supply and demand to use, just marking out the supply. If we mark out the demand, it's still going to give us the same result. But because it's an uptrend, the supply levels are very, very important. Now it keeps going. You can see there's a supply here, it comes back, it taps into it, there's a supply here, price taps into it again, and so on. So now let's use the demand. Already have one demand here. Now this is the point I want us to use the demand at. Now if you don't want to mark them very little like that, you can just pick out the overall demand level, take the overall support level, and then just wait for price to retest back into those levels, and then you do your thing. But this is a higher time frame, it's a daily time frame, so doing this is not bad, because this is a lot. Each candle here represents a whole day, so you can tell how many days it took for all of these trades to hold and the amount of pips that they would be. So now this is the demand level. I'm going to mark that out. Let's take this there instead for start. I'm trying to show you. Now that's the demand level. I told you it's the support level. And then we'll have another demand here. I would have marked it from this, but that would be too close. I don't want anything looking too congested on the charts. And there, another demand. So I want you to also make this very practical by using your charts alongside. This is a whole lot, so we might just mark part of it. So these areas serve as zones because every time price moves from there, it comes back, it taps on it, it goes up, it comes back and taps on it again, and all of that. Oh, sorry. So, trying to round this up. You can already see that there's a demand here. Price goes back and taps the demand, and then comes downward, taps the demand, comes downward, taps the demand, comes downward, taps the. You can see that price returns and taps into it and taps into it, and that's just the same way as the supply I just showed you. So you have to understand that all of these zones are important, and every reversal would only bounce off the previous demand in a downtrend, and every reversal will only bounce off on the previous support in an uptrend. That's just literally it. So you can also use that. I think with this you should be able to understand how to trade it because I've showed you already. It bounces back in the downtrend, you used it for a sell at the top of it, and then this, like this. Price bounces back into this demand level. You sit for this. Pull your, let's say, same point as this. And then target roughly a 1 to 2, 1 to 3. And there you have a trade. So that's how simple it is. So please make this very practical. Put this to work. Put this on your chart. Don't just watch this and then scroll. Put this to work. That's how you get the result. Mastery. It's not just watching and watching and watching. Too much information will just get your head so scattered. Put this practically down. So yeah, that'll be all on supply and demand. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and you can check my description for TradingView link, for Exness link for a broker. Exness is a broker and TradingView is just for the charts. So like, subscribe, and share. See you on my next video.